with a chance to take the lead. Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 12 Minutes of Your Time. I'm Mike Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey. And we're here to preview the Week 7 matchup. Huge matchup, divisional game. The 3-2 Seahawks hosting the 1-8 Arizona Cardinals. So hopefully this should be a dominant win for the Seahawks. As usual, this is 12 minutes, so we're going to start the clock now. All right, Ryan, real quick. Just going to rant off some stats real quick. Arizona negative 45-point differential, where Seattle's plus 16. Arizona's 0-3 on the road, 0-2 in the division. We are 1-1 at home with the one loss coming against the Rams, and we're 0-1 in the division, which obviously was the Rams as well. So we really need this win. We need to go 1-1 and go on from there. But as usual, we're going to start with the injury report. What do you got?
All right, so we got 3 offensive linemen that are out, which are not out, but questionable to play, which is tough. You know, I don't want to see that happening at all. I mean, Phil Haynes hasn't practiced, you know, basically like all week. And, you know, Evan Brown practiced a little bit. Jay Curran practiced a little bit. So I'm hoping those guys. Evan Brown's been a solid player all year for us on that offensive line. So I really want him to play. I like his consistency out there. I want to have that strong center out there. So that's what I'm kind of most worried about right now. But other than that, I think DK will play, even though he's questionable. I would like to see Zach Charbonnet out there as well. He said that he's questionable too. So, I mean, we need Zach Charbonnet. We need to have that 1-2 punch, and I want to see that out there.
I like that a lot too, with the Charbonnet and Walker with the 1-2 punch, because that takes less pressure off DJ Dallas in the offense. And he can just strictly come in when he needs to and focus on special teams. Yes, with the offensive line, I wonder if Jason Peters is going to come in and play a little bit, especially with Haynes not practicing at all. Evan Brown is huge for us, has been huge for us all season so far. So that would be a huge loss if he was unable to suit up.
Yeah.
And then on offense, I would like to switch it to defense after we've gone over the injury report. Our defense played extremely well the past few weeks. The Cardinals' offense is not that strong. This is a game that we should be able to dominate on the defensive side and just unleash hell on them.
Yeah, I think that we're physically able to match up against them. I'm not really worried about much on that team. I mean, I watched the Rams versus the Cardinals game, and, you know, Cardinals had chances to really capitalize out there, and they just barely missed them. I mean, inches away from capitalizing on some of these plays. Josh Dobbs, not great on third downs, right? You can easily pressure him, get up on him. If you know he's going to throw, jump all over his routes, get what you need to get on him. But, you know, he's a runner. They can run the football. You know, I think they have the most runs of any team, 20 plus yards. And that has to do with Dobbs, right? Dobbs is able to get out there and run that football as well. So, I mean, just, you know, make sure that he stays in the pocket, make sure that he tries to beat us with his throws. All our corners are healthy. All of our safeties are healthy. I can see us really going out there and dominating on defense.
This is the type of game Pete will unleash his players.
Yeah.
He won't hold back. A lot of times he does hold back if a player is maybe not as healthy as he thinks. But if they're healthy, ready to go, Pete will not hesitate at all. So, yeah, it basically looks like our offense is the only ones with the injury bugs. And on the defensive side, or on the offensive side for the Cardinals, obviously you mentioned Dobbs. Kyler Murray's already been ruled out. They have one O-lineman already ruled out, and looks like there's a couple people banged up. So nothing too crazy. So we might have a little bit of a challenge in the run game. As you said, they have the most 20-plus rushing yards, and Dobbs might scramble on third downs.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is ranked 31st on PFF. But, you know, they still have good players out there, you know. But I would like to see us sustain long drives and then finish them in the end zone, right? Like, that's how, you know, the 49ers beat up the Cardinals so well. That's how the Rams beat up the Cardinals so well. I mean, it is a trip, dude. The Cardinals did beat the Cowboys. Yes. And that's their one win, which is wild. Because this is the NFL. Everyone's being paid. Everyone's got talent. It's just how well do you put that talent together for 60 minutes? And you know, it's still a division game. Like, we still hate the Cardinals. I hate everything about them. I want to beat them all day. And so this is, just because their defense is ranked 31st doesn't mean they're not going to bring some noise.
Yes.
And but we got to sustain long drives and finish them in the red zone. That would be the most disappointing part of this game, is if that we're able to have long drives, get up to that red zone, and still struggle in that area. Then I would have some real concerns about what Shane Waldron and Gino are doing in the red zone play calling.
And the offense needs to complement the defense massively. Defensive wise, I don't see why we wouldn't dominate, and the offense just needs to be good.
Yeah. I mean, we're ranked 8th overall in offense on PFF, which is crazy considering we've had 2 really bad games.
Yeah.
2 terrible games. And, we're ranked 7th overall as a team. So we're a good team when we put it all together. Let's just go beat a division team. We need to win this game. Like, last game, losing to a non-conference team away, not the end of the world. But losing to a division team would be devastating to our chances of trying to still win the division, right? Like, I still want to win the division. I still think we can win the division. So I want to see that actually happen, right? And we're at home. So we can't lose home games. I hate losing home games. I hate it.
Going 0-2 at home and 0-2 in the division within the first 7 weeks would be devastating for us. I was trying to quickly find the stat where the percentage of us making the playoffs. I don't want to waste time looking for it. It was, if we win, we have like a 59% chance of making the playoffs. If we lose, it drops down to 30-something, 36.
Oh man, that's massive. That's not okay.
Yeah. The 59% was obviously something we'd be thrilled with. One thing we mentioned last week about the offensive line and the protection and Waldron's calls, we didn't mention Andy Dickerson. We mentioned him a couple weeks earlier, where he would get credit where credit's due. But last week I overlooked that, and we didn't mention him, that maybe something he was doing wasn't, he overlooked some things with our pass protection last week. So I'm curious if they tweak some things, get their pass protection a little bit better, because that seems to be our weakest link at the moment, in the sense of the injuries and the way we've the injuries since week 1.
I'm wondering if there was a emphasis to get JSN out there and get him some good plays, but that would require taking one of those tight ends off who are really dominant at run blocking, really good with their hands, right, catching the football out of the back, out of the flats, right. I'm wondering if maybe that caused some of the issues, right. They're like, all right, Charles Cross is back. Let us, have less tight ends out there. Let's try to get JSN involved. He did. He showed his worth. Yards after catch, caught every pass his way. But then something fell behind, and that was our pass protection. Curran has never been great at pass protecting. Good run blocker, but not great at pass protecting. And I think if we're going to try to win this game, I prefer to, dial back on the JSN stuff and increase the tight end stuff, right, again, and really dominate on that offensive line.
And Bobo is not on the injury report, so that's good. He had a good game last week as well, so that helps us out. Do you think DK was just a precautionary?
No, I think he hurt his hip. His hip on that play, and that play specifically, he didn't run the best route, and so he caused him to be well outside, and he was falling awkwardly and got hit as well as he was falling, and he just hurt his hip. He's a big boy. I think he'll be fine.
Was that the catch that was out of bounds, but he still made the catch?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
You've been seeing it a lot. They talk about it a lot during these games. They're talking about it a lot during these games. Those routes, he's got to run them a little bit not so close to the sideline there, and allow a little bit more. Allow Gino to throw that back shoulder, to throw it to the back shoulder. Because if he throws it to the back shoulder and he's not close to the sideline, he's gonna fall out of bounds most likely. So.
And maybe the DB pushed him a little bit more than he wanted to. Because on the practice fields, they have red lines, that gives him that yard or two on the side. And they practice that to leave that little bit of room on the side. And DK takes hits. They like to hit him because he's so big. They need those hits. So he definitely does take hits and whatnot. Anything else on the offense that you'd like to really see? Maybe a little more from our tight ends. Maybe it's the play calling. I'm not too sure.
Well, just in the red zone, I just didn't see anything spectacular in the red zone, right? Like, it was run up the middle. All right, nothing. Okay, let's throw a backside, in the corner to DK or throw it to somebody in the side on the sideline, try to get a jump ball. They were just doing jump balls and running up the middle. That just isn't good enough in the NFL sometimes when these players are really trying to still win these games. Like, everyone still has a chance. No one's giving up yet. And I didn't see anything too special out there. And I didn't see any extra protection other than, Walker back there trying to throw some blocks, but he did bad at that. I don't know if we want to bring in Charbonnet for the blocks or what, but he had a bad game, I felt like Walker did with his blocking. So,
with the actually, I lost my train of thought on what we were just going to say, but either way, and I was going to say that's a main focus we've had all years: third downs and red zone. Third downs and red zone. You gotta complete those, and especially this game. And hopefully our ego doesn't get too big against a 1-5 team. Once again, division game, they'll play us tough. We have about a minute and a half left. Special teams.
I mean, DJ Dallas
shouldn't be worried about it. Yeah. We're number one. We shouldn't be really worried about it. I don't know how their special teams is, but hopefully that's something. Are the two main focuses that we in the past few weeks that our special teams and defense have been phenomenal. It's our offense that's slacking a little.
Our special teams is ranked number 2 on PFF. The special teams for Arizona is ranked number 7. So they're doing well over there on special teams. Like, that's the highlight of their season so far is that special teams area. But it doesn't matter. Like, we need to make our field goals. We need to have DJ Dallas still play the same way he's playing. Everyone's playing really well on special teams. I mean, we play our starters out there on special teams. Like, we should be dominant out there on special teams when we're playing. So I've got no worry there. I just want to see Myers just kick his field goals and make them right. I mean, there was watching that Rams versus Cardinals game. Like, the Cardinals held them, to a couple field goals there, but then gave up the touchdowns, right? Then started to give away at some of the plays, and we don't have that Cooper Kupp out there who's arguably the number 1 wide receiver out there, but we've got Tyler Lockett who's going to possibly be a Hall of Fame wide receiver one day, and I think that he could beat these corners all day and get wide open for this.
I agree. I think we will dominate. One last thing: the spread is around 7.5 to 8.5 for us. So that shows that Vegas believes in us to probably win by a touchdown. Hopefully, we would buy more. So
division games, right? Like, first division game we played, got our ass beat. We didn't expect it. We got punched in the mouth. Everyone was like, "What's going on here? Like, how is this possible?" Frustration took over. Desperation took over a little bit, but this time, no division game. What are we going to do? We're going to punch them in the mouth because they're going to come punch us in the mouth. So we go swinging first. We go beat them up. Let's pound that rock. Let's not let them run the football. Let's get some turnovers and let's go win this game because we cannot lose this game.
I love it. All gas, no brakes. Let's go. All right, everybody. That's 12 minutes. Thank you for listening. As always, go Hawks. I'm Mike Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey. This is 12 minutes of your time.
Go Hawks. Woo!